representing the Eastern Conference. From Sunrise, Florida, the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
And representing the Western Conference. From Edmonton, Canada, the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
Obviously, boobs raining down. He just rained down some boobs.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's what he just did.
Yeah,
Debo
but
just
take
did.
it easy, Debo.
You said boobs.
Come on.
I heard what you
Boobs.
said. Oh, I thought you said
Panthers
boobs.
I heard a B at the end.
I saw a video, I thought.
That's what you were. I thought that's why he brought that up.
Yeah, because
Anyways, joining us now is a man who'll give us more information on what we should expect from this particular series. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program, longtime NHL vet, PK Subban.
Yeah, PK.
Montreal baseball team is who we're trying to get tickets from today, or what do we got?
Special edition Montreal Expos jersey. I think this is the Tom Brady one. It was sent to me. Pretty cool. So big Grand Prix week this week in Montreal. So big week, showing Montreal some love.
Huge week.
Which race is that? Is that the G1 race?
Formula One, yeah, Formula One.
Yep,
Go
G1.
on.
Yeah, G1.
Yeah. Go on.
Pinnacle.
By
Yep.
one.
Who's going to win?
It's not the
Go
Panthers.
one by one, by one, by one, by one, by one, by one for the whole race.
No passing.
Just go one by one by one.
No, not in Canada. Not in Montreal. We're going to have
I've gone to Montreal Grand Prix probably. I've been to there for the weekend 12 times. I've been to the race maybe once or twice. So you guys,
You did it right.
I'll let you guys know what I've been doing down in Montreal during the Grand Prix.
Yeah, you did it right. You're doing it right. And I don't know if you have seen the reaction since your call for love last week. A lot of people offering their services. Have you seen?
You know what? I'm not a DM guy. I'm not a big DM guy, but allegedly my DMs are flooded. So I gotta sift through those. I haven't been through them yet. I've been busy with the final, but we'll see. Maybe post-final I'll go through and see what's up.
Yeah, of course, watching film and massages and boxing and, the whole thing. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Let's talk about the final. The Edmonton Oilers get by the Dallas Stars with only 10 shots on net. Obviously, the least amount of shots on goal in a clinching series game in the history of the NHL. Connor McDavid has one of the nastiest goals, and he adds a nasty assist later in the game to win this entire thing. He took over the filthy right there early in the game too. So if you're wondering if this is going to be a good game, don't you worry about it. Connor McDavid's going to do a little drag, backhand, top shed. Welcome to my town. This is Edmonton. So filthy. Just as if he's playing amongst kids. There's a couple different angles that are slow mode.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Boink.
That's video game.
That's one of the 10 shots on goal for Edmonton throughout the entire game. Whenever you think about this team, do you think they have enough jam or grit to keep up with this Florida Panthers team, or is this Florida Panthers to win, PK? Or I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, on the McDavid goal, when I watched that last night, I immediately, right away, I thought about The Last Dance and B.J. Armstrong talking about Michael Jordan and him saying that, Michael Jordan, as his career went on, it was like he'd let his teammates play, and then when it was time for him to kind of take over the game, he took over and he would win the team. He'd win the game for the team. Last night, watching Connor McDavid on the power play, it made me feel like that. This whole series, I watched him. I've watched him over this playoff run. It's almost like he knew how important it was for everybody to be a part of this run and to be involved. I think he's not playing as many minutes. I think that when he's playing the game, you could see he's deferring to teammates, allowing guys, trusting his teammates in situations. But what I loved about the game last night this was his moment. This was his game to say, I'm pulling my team, I'm pulling the city of Edmonton into the Stanley Cup Finals. It's not about the depth on our team. It's not about that. It's about me stepping up and being the greatest player in the world. And he was last night, especially on that first goal. Watching him, the exposure. First of all, it's not the toe drag for me. It's who he's toe dragging around. I mean, Miro Heiskanen's been top 2 defenseman in the playoffs this year, but all season, I mean, this guy's a perennial. He's going to be a Norris Trophy finalist for years to come. But, I mean, he makes him look like a regular defenseman on that play. This is one of the best skaters in the league. So there's no doubt going into the Stanley Cup Final that Connor McDavid is the best player in the world, and that's who the Florida Panthers are going up against. Now, to answer your question on the Florida Panthers, The Florida Panthers don't care who they're playing, whether it's Connor McDavid, whether it's Kucherov, whether it's, the Toronto Maple Leafs. It doesn't matter whether it's the New York Rangers and Artemi Panarin. These guys have shut down the league's best players all season and all playoffs. And you know what? The way they look at it is if you want to win the cup, you got to beat the best. Connor McDavid and company are the best right now. And the Florida Panthers, for me, they're going to be a very, very difficult team to beat in the finals. I'm going with the Florida Panthers. I've doubted them all playoff long. I agree that if the Edmonton Oilers are going to win, it's going to be on Connor McDavid. Wouldn't surprise me, but I'm going with the Florida Panthers. I think that they're ready after losing last year in the finals. They have an all year to prepare. I watched them beat this year's best team on the planet for hockey, the New York Rangers, and they beat them. They beat them pretty, I'm not going to say easily, but it was a one-sided series. I thought Florida was the better team all series long, and it showed, and the better team won. I think that it's Florida's series to lose in the Stanley Cup.
Dude, what's Florida going to do to stop them? What are they going to? In football, it happens a lot, or basketball. Hey, just don't let their star beat us. Let's find a way to make everyone else beat us. What can Florida do to try to make this happen?
Okay, so to break it down in a nutshell, Edmonton can win. Exactly. Edmonton can win this series, but it's going to take Stuart Skinner to be better than Sergei Bobrovsky, which I don't believe is going to happen. I got all the respect in the world to Stuart Skinner and the way he's played. I give that kid a tremendous amount of credit. He's playing the best hockey of his career, and I know he's going to play well in this final. But to think that I'm going to pick him over Sergei Bobrovsky, as of right now, I can't do that. I just can't do that. Sergei Bobrovsky has been unbelievable, and I believe that he'll be the best player in this final when it's all said and done. He's going to have to be for the Florida Panthers. But that, to me, is the most important thing. It's going to be the goaltending duel. Sergei Bobrovsky has to be Florida's best player, and I think that he will. I also think the matchups are in favor of the Florida Panthers. They got Tkachuk, and they got Sam Bennett on one line. So you got McDavid and Draisaitl. If they split those guys up, they're going to have heavy guys on their top two lines. You know what Barkov brings. We've seen what he did to Pasternak. We saw what he did to everybody else coming. But, I think that the matchups are in favor of Florida, and Florida wins the goaltending situation. The X factor in all of it is going to be McDavid and Draisaitl. And the Edmonton Oilers defense. Can their defense continue to play solid like they have all season? The Florida Panthers are playing their best hockey. The Edmonton Oilers are playing their best hockey. But I think Florida's got a deeper team. They got more experience. I think they're the team right now. I think containing Connor McDavid is possible. Shutting him down. He's going to get his points. He's going to create. But everybody else, you have to keep at bay. And their special teams. Florida's dominated in the special teams. They shut down the league's best power play with the Rangers. They're going to have to do the same thing against Edmonton. If they win the special teams battle, this series is going Florida's way.
How about Sam Bennett, too? He had that nasty no-look pass, and he's got a clap bomb, little triple doink goal scorer there.
Chad.
I don't know if that ball went in or if that puck went in. They also said he was offsides, but didn't challenge it. That's not on them. That's on somebody else. But it's like this Florida Panthers team, getting to watch them, I enjoy their moxie. I enjoy the way they go about it, and they're a physical, tough bunch. And not saying the Oilers haven't faced physical teams in the past, but it's like that is what Florida kind of separates themselves with, is how physical, fast, and talented they are. Go ahead, pal.
Well, I'll give Edmonton a ton of credit. They have come a long way as a team. Defensively, they've played remarkably well down the stretch. They really, really have. But the Florida Panthers, what you're seeing from them right now is who they've always been and who they will be every single game in this series. That's the toughest team to play against. They're going to pull you, like I said, into the alleyways and those dark areas, and that's where that series will be played. And I think for Edmonton's defense, this is going to be their biggest challenge. You saw, do the Edmonton Oilers have a better defense than the New York Rangers? With Andre Miller and Schneider and Trouba and Fox and Lindgren? I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think so. So look at what Florida did to their defense on the cycle, specialty teams. So it's also Florida's defense. I mean, Kulikov, Mikola, these guys stepped up down the stretch. They're playing great. So there's not going to be any easy passes for Edmonton this series, and there hasn't been, but especially against Florida, It's going to be tough with the way Florida's playing right now. I think Florida's got everybody involved, bringing Okaposo in the lineup, Lomberg out. Paul Maurice has done a great job managing the bench. Florida's going to be a tough out right now. I think they're the better team.
You're not going to be able to cool off Kulikov.
No.
That's what everybody knows around the entire league. Even up there in Montreal, where they have a big G1 race this weekend. Make sure you get out and watch cars go one by one, by one, by one, by one.
Yep.
Zoom, boom, 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 boom. And then they'll remain in that same order.
I won't be there. I won't be at the race. I'll be somewhere else. I'll tell you that. I won't be at the race.
Oh,
jeez.
Smart.
D-Butt's got a question. He might be there. He's got a question for you.
But Gabe Morency will definitely be there. Keep it out for him. But you talked about the play, and obviously, Barkey's probably the best all-around player in the NHL right now. But I want to talk about some superstitions. Obviously, you saw Connor McDavid. I think he wore the same suit games 4, 5, and 6. And then now back-to-back conference finals for the Panthers. We did not touch the trophy this year. What are kind of the biggest superstitions you've been around in the NHL?
The touching of the conference trophies, that's probably the one that I've seen executed the most, because there's always this moment right before, everybody goes to take the picture. Well, do they touch it? Do they not touch it? Listen, for Florida, they were just there last year. They touched it last year. They're choosing not to touch it this year. I got no problem. I think that you celebrate every trophy that you get. Obviously, you're there for the cup, but you celebrate every trophy. The craziest superstition I've seen, is there's a couple guys that have been using the same jock strap since junior.
What?
I don't get that. To me, that's just flat out nasty. I don't care how badly you want to win. Get a new jock.
Are we all wearing jock
straps?
straps because you got to wear a cup, I guess, huh? So you guys wear.
Yeah, it's like wash, that's dirty, man. Go get a new jock strap. I don't care how badly you want to win. It has nothing to do with your cup. I'll tell you that right now.
In football,
the only cup is the Stanley Cup. Wash your cup.
You wore one?
Nope.
I don't think I know many people that wore the jock strap in football. Because there's the old adage is that guy couldn't hold his jock strap.
Yeah, AJ definitely did.
AJ,
to me, that's just stupid. That's just stupid. Not wearing a jock strap in football. Who's you don't want to have kids? What are you doing?
You mean a cup or a jock strap?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
There's difference.
Well, in hockey, we got the jock strap, and then you slide the cup in the front. Yeah. So it's basically
no one's wearing
the
a cup
same
in
thing.
football.
Yeah, we don't wear. Yeah, there's no cups in football. Me, definitely not. But there's no cups in football.
They also have compression shorts that have built-in.
Dude, listen to me.
You just wear the.
I couldn't tell you if guys aren't wearing cups, you wouldn't want to see me in one of those scrums, those piles, because I'd be a dirty.
Grabbing dogs.
Guys.
You're just grabbing dogs.
Dog monster.
Where's the dog?
Look out.
See a dog, grab a dog. PK Subban football.
Twisting it.
I never said I'd be grabbing it. I never said I'd be grabbing
punching
it.
dogs.
Falling on it. I'd be dropping elbows. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Pinching the tip of the.
Yeah, right on dogs.
Couple elbows. Yeah.
Oh, this guy's not wearing a cup. Dong.
We get that real quick.
That's PK Subban football?
Boom.
Oh, okay, uppercut.
Jay Tatum.
Jay Tatum.
Yeah. With all of them.
Boom.
Hey.
Oh.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a dunk.
Let's talk about celebrating dongs. Connor has a question for you, PK.
Yeah, PK, obviously there are a lot of storylines in any Stanley Cup final, but this one feels a little extra special. Obviously, Sunrise, Florida, it's a wonderful place. There are wonderful people down there. Are we worried that the boobs in Edmonton are going to be too much for the Panthers to focus on hockey, and they might be looking up to the stands to see a little sideshow?
Well, you know what? That's a great question. There'll be a lot of distractions, definitely, ton of distractions. But Matthew Tkachuk, I believe him when he said it in his interview, that the guys have bought in and they're all in. So I would expect them in Canada. I know that when they came to stay here in New York, they were staying where I was staying, and there was a fire alarm that went off and all that stuff. So there's no question in Canada, people will be throwing everything but the kitchen sink at them to try to get in their kitchens. They got to stay locked in and stay focused. Leave all of that other stuff to me and the ESPN crew. We'll look after all of that on our days off and our leave all of that stuff.
Journalism.
Smart.
Journalism.
Good people.
Covering the atmosphere. Tone's got a question for you, PK.
PK, I believe it came out. This is going to be the farthest distance traveled in a final for any of the major sports. I believe it's 4,000 some kilometers. I don't know what that translates to.
What is that, Gumpy? What is a kilometer, dude?
Jeez.
Not quite as far as mile.
Like
Okay.
1.1.
Coast to coast.
Does it matter? Does that matter at all? Like to these teams at all this late in the season? Does any
Big
team
time.
does any team have an advantage because of it?
Yeah, that's even further.
Big time, I think it matters. Well,
Rainier
when you think
Zyklon.
about it for Florida, Florida has had to travel to Carolina. They've had to travel to play against
New York.
the Rangers, like
Boston.
New York, right? So Boston. So it's been easy travel for them, and that's the East. I remember when I played in Nashville in the Central Division. It's the worst travel in the history. So for Edmonton, they could definitely, you feel that travel. In Nashville, I remember when we played the Anaheim Ducks in the conference final. It was horrible going back and forth from Anaheim. So definitely the travel matters, but this is the Stanley Cup final. I mean, every player is going to be doing everything they possibly can to get an edge. Rest, recovery, all of that stuff. You know, I'm sure teams will be bringing in extra therapists. You know how it is. But for me, I think the Florida Panthers are the fresher team. There's no question they're the fresher team, in my opinion. They should be. The style of play for them is what they've always played all season. They look fresher. They didn't look tired to me at all. So, and I think Connor McDavid's fresh. I think this might be the first time I've seen him this fresh in the playoffs, you know, because they've really balanced out the minutes for their team. So, yeah, the travel will be a factor, but I think with the intensity of this series, I really don't believe it's going to matter as much unless it goes 6 or 7 games.
So I'm just trying to make sure I get the distance right here. You know, just trying to add it up. So it's
How long
like,
is that flight, you think?
because it's in a bit, you know, it's not Seattle.
A little further too. That ain't something.
6 hours and 10 minutes is what I just looked up. If it was a nonstop, yeah.
Direct flight.
Yeah.
Including
What's
What's the
down seats?
distance there in inches?
So
Yeah.
I'd say
that matters.
about 400 inches if I had to,
Oh, okay.
the way I describe them.
That's a lot of inches.
That helps.
I mean, so you take that, that's like 6 inches, right? Right
Yeah.
here?
Yep.
So,
400.
Well,
what's that, PK? Well, you all right, dude?
it's a game of inches. It's a game of inches, Pat.
Yeah, of
Sometimes
course.
it comes
Amen.
down
Hand
to 1
motion
inch,
and
6
rhythm.
inches,
But, you know,
8 inches. It's a game of inches.
I guess a kilometer is 0.62 of a mile.
Okay.
Okay, so 4,200 kilometers, a little bit more than half, 2,300 miles.
Yeah,
If
somewhere
we were just to kind of eyeball this thing and kind of, that's a long way. They're not driving though. Thank
No,
God.
no.
Thank God. we're
They
not.
should. They should make them drive. That'd be cool.
3 buses.
Yeah.
Train would be cool.
Or F1 cars. The G1 cars, and whoever gets there first starts
Hey,
1-0.
Now we're talking.
G1 car's
Now
never
we're
making
talking.
it. That thing's such a soft ass
Yeah.
car.
Not a chance.
No way. Imagine it making its way to Minneapolis or
Which route are you going? Because they're basically the same amount of time. You going through Missouri or Chicago?
we're staying away from this.
Yeah, go
traffic.
Omaha.
We're going to Omaha.
I agree.
Stop by Wendy's crib.
Yeah.
The Dakotas.
Yep.
Dakotas are beautiful this time of year.
Yeah, this is the right way.
How about Nashville?
Nashville's
A lot of
sick.
traffic there too.
Yeah, you don't want to go through Nashville. You might stop.
I think I'm doing this one. I think I'm going
Oh,
Nashville.
yeah, we're not making it through Nashville. If they go through Nashville, there's no way they're making it through Nashville.
Yeah, stop.
Not
Pit
this
stop.
time.
Pit
Yeah.
stop.
Just quick pit stop.
Just quick pit stop through this entire thing. PK, how do you see it going, pal? What do you think? You like Florida winning it? Or are we going to have at least, gentleman's sweep, I believe, last year is how Edmonton lost to the Vegas Golden Knights, I think.
Yeah, that is correct.
No. World's
Sure.
best players on that
That's it.
team.
That's it.
I mean, listen, Edmonton could win this series. Connor McDavid,
All right.
I'm not, I wouldn't bet against that guy, but I have to believe that the Florida Panthers, this is their time. With the experience of going to the finals last year, I think they're healthy now. They weren't healthy last year in the finals. I think it's their year. So I'm gonna go with Matthew Tkachuk and the Florida Panthers. I've been betting against them all year. I should have given them more love. I got to give them love, but McJesus, man, if he starts mixing up some of that magic, anything can happen. So it's must watch TV. You got the world's greatest player in the game of hockey against the best team, in my opinion, in hockey right now, the Florida Panthers. So it should make for a great series. But I'm going with Florida Panthers in 6 games.
Our source says, have told us that McDavid doesn't love the McJesus thing. That's what our source says. Have told us within the last 5 days.
Hold on, let's get into that. Let's get into that for a second.
Okay.
I mean,
if you want to.
which athlete is going to say that they want the nickname and they like the nickname McJesus? Like, he ain't going to say that. But let's be real. Deep down inside, he has to like the nickname Jesus. Like come on.
It's so sweet.
He has to, right?
Great
He
nickname.
might be a religious guy.
Yeah, what if he is like, my name and Jesus Christ of Nazareth should not be in the same? You know?
Well, Jordan's Black Jesus. Jordan's Black Jesus, right? Isn't that what they call him, Black Jesus?
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah, in the last dance.
Larry Bird called him God, too.
I don't know. If
Yeah?
Larry Bird, obviously.
Yeah, we call him Big Jesus. So what's good?
Hey, listen, bud, you came out of the cave for the good of hockey. Okay? So why don't we embrace it?
Just win it.
But I'm not going to piss him off because we might be able to get him on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, Connor McDavid will take on Chuck and the boys down there in Florida for the Stanley Cup Finals. This man will be on TV, and we can't thank you enough for taking time with us, PK.
No problem, guys. And if you guys need to find me, I'll be at Elbow Room. So I'll be there pretty much any time that I'm not working. So you can find me down there at the Elbow Room.
Okay, and from what we learned about you, and especially what you talked about with your journalism today, he'll be sliding over to Tootsie's down there, too, in South Florida.
Definitely.
Not in Nashville.
Little shoulder rub.
Ladies and gentlemen, PK Smith.
Hey.
All right.